Hey, today is the Groom King in Fishkill, New York, and we're Easy Blade today, and we're gonna demonstrate a Bigen beard on my friend Buck here. I'm gonna take the hair down a little bit, you know, especially his mustache. I'm starting with a 1 clip just to test it, see. No, we need an open blade. I'm gonna put that away. I'm using the Stay Gold Babyless. Love this machine. So you want to take down the mustache so it's smooth, there's no hairs popping out. I want to take the beard down a little bit. He still wants, to keep this a little long here, so I want to kind of fade the sides a little bit. So I'm gonna go with the 4. I'm gonna bring this. We're gonna pop this beard out. You know, his beard is thick, but it's not, it's kind of patchy. It's not so thick, and so we're gonna make it pop. That's what we're gonna do today. So look, I did the 4, and I'm fading it to the chin. So he likes his chin hairs. Boom. And I could do one side at a time, but while I got the 4 clip on, I'm just gonna do both sides. And I'm gonna come straight to the chin. Get the 3, do the same thing. I'm gonna do the same thing, I'm just not gonna come as far with the 3. So I'm gonna come about halfway. I'm gonna do the other side as well. So I'm gonna go to the 2 a little bit. Because we could go pretty light on the edges, because when we come with the Bigen, we come with the dye, it's going to kind of pop out the hairs anyway. It's going to make it look thicker. I'm going to grab a 1.5. And with the 1.5, now before I was going down this way, with the 1.5 I'm going to throw it up. It's almost like a tight 2 when you throw the lever up on the 1.5, and I'm going to come a little bit over here. Just kind of fade it down a little bit because I want this edge to be sharp. So the lower it is, the sharper it'll be. We don't want it too low either. So I'm kind of going to do a little fade over here. Boom. Spin them around, it's like a merry-go-round. But I'm gonna do the same thing, exact same way, fade them. I'm gonna go to the 1, open blade, and just come across over here. I don't want to go too light. Boom. Same thing right here is a little patchy here. We want to fade it up. Good. Take a 1/2 clip. Just go like that. Just smooth it out a little bit. So I want a nice transition to the chin. See already, and I didn't even shape it up yet with the machine. Just a little transition fade so we could keep the length on the chin. Come over here. Here we go. And when you're dealing with Bigen, a permanent dye, you have to let it set the color. So I already mixed it with some hot water. If you do mix it with cold water, it tends to take a longer time. If you use hot water, it heats up, does the process a little faster. So you want to do that because during the work day, you want to make sure you do everything in an efficient time. We don't rush, but we want to be efficient. So now I'm just gonna go a little freestyle on the beard. And I'm taking this angle and I'm looking, I don't know if we can see it in the camera, where we show that angle going towards the chin area. You know, so I'm gonna graze the machine all on that, pointing it towards the machine, towards the chin. Just kind of freestyling. Just freestyling it. You know, don't have 2-3 cups of coffee, only have one. Because if your hand is shaking, you know, you don't want to cut too much off. You want to be very precise. You know, and now with this as well, the same. See, and chin up. Now I'm going to kind of shape it with the machine. Because I want a clean underline. I'll take it like that. Chin all the way up. A little too much. There we go. Perfect. Just like that. So now, just cleaning that top, that bottom line. Before we hit it with the trimmer, we want to make sure you can get all this bulk hair off. But still keeping that length. Still keeping it looking thick. Alright? Now I'm going to use the Babyliss Gold FX. I love this thing, man. You know what I mean? It's like the top of the line right now. These are lasers, man. I feel like a Jedi with this thing, man. But right now I'm going to do basically the same exact thing I did with the clipper. Like I took most of the bulk off, and now I'm going to do the fine lines with the trimmer. You know, so put the chin up a little bit like this. And I'm going to start to get it down, because you know the last thing we're gonna do would be the razor work. So we took it off with the clipper, the bulk. Now we come with the trimmers for the fine lines. And I'll come up. Sometimes under the neck, these sharp trimmers tend to pinch, grab the skin. So sometimes you don't want the skin so tight, you know. And we're gonna eventually lay him back when I use the razor work. So right now, with the trimmer, just kind of bringing it all down for that, preparing it for the razor. I'm going to do this. And another thing is, you know, when applying Bigen, you know, you got to be very careful. You have to know your client. You know, you should do the test, you know, the arm test, and putting on your client and knowing, you know, if they react to it or anything. Because you could do a beautiful Bigen job, and then 2 days later your client calls you from the ER and says their face blew up. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure we already know. Buck is a client of mine for a long time. You know, I know he doesn't react to it, and you have to, you know your clients, and you know, make sure, you know, you don't catch a case. And what I try to do is the less razor work. Sometimes people like to use the razor, then apply the Bigen, then wash it off, and then use the razor again. You know, sometimes too much razor work can irritate the skin. So we want to do is, so what I'm going to do is when I apply, before I use the razor, I'm going to put in the Bigen, let it sit. I'm then going to wash it out. Then I'm going to come back with the razor for the fine lines. And, you know, and that's when you have to know how to apply the Bigen correctly. You don't want to put too much. You don't want to have, you know, you got to do precise lines as well with the Bigen. So this is the Bigen. I pre-mixed it. This is a 59 Bigen. And I got a little Diane brush. And it's ready to go. It's a nice color. Sometimes it's greenish, brownish. This is a good color right now. We got like a dark brown going. It is a 59. If the longer I let it stay, it'll get blacker and blacker and blacker. But you know, we don't want it. You know, we don't want them to look like a Ken doll. You know what I mean? We have to. You know, we're gonna put it on nice. When you're doing Bigen and dyes and stuff, you wanna the whole goal is to make it look as natural as you can. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, so many people got sharp beards and sharp dyes. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna make it look as natural as I can. So I'm gonna apply. You know, I'm gonna start with the top lines, and then I'm gonna fill it in, almost like coloring. You know, stay within the line. So what I'll do is I'll make a nice top line, back line, put it in, and then fill it in, you know, like if you're coloring. And you don't want too much excess, and this stuff splashes around, you know, give them a couple birthmarks, you know, so you got to be careful, you know, put chin up a little bit. See, and you see, I see where it was, that top line. So I'm gonna come sometimes right here, boom, boom. And you don't want to go too high up with it, because then the razor work with that fine hair, it'll pop it out anyway. So now I had light touch there, and then now boom. Now I'm gonna press. And this is a double brush, like double bristles. I know I've seen guys cut one end of the bristle, one layer of the bristle, so you just have one. Sometimes it goes on finer. You see, so I just put the back, and then he has a little patch here. So we're gonna put this all in here. And he has thick hair. This hair is thick here. What I might just do is apply, touch the lines there, and but he has a good transition. Like I said, if we make it look natural, use his thick hair where it is, fill in the patches. I'm just lightly doing it, letting it do its job, pressing corners. You know, you have to be. And sometimes what happens is, you know, what takes this stuff off is alcohol. You bleed it with alcohol. Sometimes people take the little brush, you know, spray it down, rub it, and if you apply way too much, you see, we're just gonna do a nice coat there. And I didn't even touch the razor yet, you know, so I can even do this corner here if I want. Just think the more you put on, the more it gets away from the natural look. I'm just gonna do this little corner here towards his mustache. We're gonna keep the mustache natural. We're not even gonna touch the Bigen on the mustache. You know, so now we're gonna come to the other side. And now I'm gonna see where I did, where, you know, see this corner here, and I'm gonna match it with this corner over here. And I'm kind of like going off the side, because I don't want to like a whole bunch of dye coming out. You know, I want to take a little bit and use it accordingly. You know. You see, I got a little line coming in. I press and go drag down. You can press, drag down. And, you know, this is advanced level, you know, like Bigen and stuff like that. You want to make sure you know what you're doing before this. Because this Bigen stuff, you know, and I'm not using gloves. A lot of guys, you know, this stuff will be on your nails for weeks. You know, you look like you're in construction or something with all this Bigen. So make sure you're aware the Bigen tends to get on the brush and the corners and stuff like that. You know, I'm a grand master, so I'm not using any brushes. I feel like sometimes the brushes get in the way, but I understand it, you know, the cleanliness and of using the gloves. But, you know, I like to freestyle without them. So in here, I'm gonna chin up a little bit, so just a little bit perfect, just like that. So I'm just gonna kind of touch the lines. You got it going curved towards the middle. I'm just placing a little bit, you know, like a little bit with Bigen goes so far, you know. I see a lot of guys applying thick coats, you know, and it looks bad sometimes, you know. Certain people need thick coats, certain beards, certain people have grays. He doesn't have any grays. This is just for the thick effect of it. But when Bigen, if you're using it for grays and stuff like that, you have to leave it on a little bit longer so it could pull the grays. And some grays are real stubborn. Now when I applied it, I'm just gonna kind of let it set, let it set. You know, some people, you gotta you put it in fast, you take it out fast, you know. With Buck here, we're gonna let it just kind of sit, let it settle in, let it get a little darker, and then we're gonna wash it off, you know. And you know, so it could stain a lot longer. And then when we hit it with the towel, you know, we could bring it to the sink, we could wash it out, and then after that, when I put the towel on and the shaving cream and stuff like that, and I take it off, that skin is gonna be ready to be shaved down. And then that's when you're gonna get that those tight lines, you know, like people use like the white pencil chalk and stuff like that. For this, you don't have to. Once you wash it off and you clean the skin good and it starts to dry, you're gonna have a natural white line, that shave line, and it's gonna be pretty cool. Now I'm gonna apply some Easy Blade shave gel. Right before, because I'm gonna use a rag and I'm gonna kind of like wash it out. So before I do that, I just want to kind of touch the skin with some shave gel, just to try to, you know, start softening it up, you know. So I'm gonna hit it like this. This stuff smells so good and clean and fresh, right?
I'm about to say the same thing.
How good does it smell? Tell me how good does it smell, Buck?
I feel like I'm in a spa or something.
There you go. This is the Groom King spa, baby. Yeah, man. And then later on, we're gonna get Buck's nose hairs because you could braid them. So we're gonna trade them. You know, we're gonna definitely have to take those down. You know what I mean? A couple hairs out his ears too. A couple earmuffs he got in there. You know, the Easy Blade pre-shave oil as well. Just a little nice little coat. You know, we don't want to get no razor bumps or no razor burns. So we're gonna put that on top of there as well. You know, there's more than one way to skin a cat, you know, so I'm just showing you guys another option, another way to do things. Cream too. I can even you put a little cream on there too. Why not? Right? Why not? What we're doing is preparing the skin. So when I come with the rag anyway, I'm gonna wipe all of this down. So we're gonna apply a little bit of that as well. Okay. Covering, so you know we don't get on his shirt, we don't get on the cape. It's my Groom King cape by Lugion, you know, custom made. Want to make sure we take care of it, right? And then I'm gonna put another layer of cape, another layer of towel on top of that. You know, and some for the state board, they're gonna want more towels. They're gonna want all towels around the neck. So just remember that. And then we're gonna come right to the bottom of the nose. We're gonna wrap, pull tight, over the forehead. Readjust the nose so they could breathe. You don't wanna take the towel off and they're dead. You know, you wanna make sure they're good and relaxed. Boom, and while I place him here, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna make sure my razors are good. I'm gonna change the razor. I'm gonna clean my station off. I'm gonna make sure everything is ready to go when I take this towel off. We're just kind of taking it off, damping it right there. Let's see, we have it, and now it looks more fuller, but it's still not like pasted on. You know, my whole objective is for his beard to look so nice, but people don't know that it's dye. They just think, man, whoa, that's a nice shape up. That's a nice, you know, that your barber did a good job. I'm using my Easy Blade wood handle, straight razor, straight fire. To his beard, we know where I put the dye is where I wanted the to cut all this hair, all that excess hair. So now I'm gonna be basically cutting up everything that's not in that line, right? Buck, can you put some air in your cheek for a little bit? Like, exactly. So now I'm coming down. And I'm only using the razor one time. You know, if I would have used the razor already, then put the dye, then use the razor, the skin could possibly get irritation. So we don't want to stay away from that. I'm just hitting the back line. Put that here. Now I'm using the razor exactly where I wanted it to be. And like I said, it's another way. Some people like to do the whole entire haircut, use the razor, everything, then apply the Beijing, then wash it off, then touch it again a little bit with the razor. You know, it's just another way. Not saying it's better, not saying this is better or that's better. I'm just saying this is another way to service your client. Ooh. Nice little beard. You know, little Beijing dye, little subtle, you know. Ooh. And if this can't help him, he gonna have to go to the doctor. You know what I'm saying? Plastic surgery or something, man.